Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is October 4th, and we have an article for you with a long title, Myth Busting. Can your eyes pop out if you keep them open while sneezing?
我们的中文标题是破除流言，睁眼打喷嚏眼球会飞出去吗？这个 pop out 就是爆出去喷出去那种感觉所以我们的眼睛会不会喷出去？如果你把眼睛 keep them open， 那个 them 就是眼睛，这样子的话你的眼球会不会喷出去呢？
It's like squeezing a 毛豆 to get it out of its little peel. Pop!
Yeah, 对，有点像这个毛豆把它挤出来
And we'll find out. I'll read the 3 paragraphs here for us first, and then we'll go by sentence in both Chinese and English to help you better understand the content. We're all familiar with the sensation. It usually starts with a little itch deep inside one of the nostrils. Next comes the awareness that it's going to happen. Then, achoo! Air erupts out of your nose and or mouth at an astonishing 100 miles per hour, blasting out whatever was causing the tickling. The high-pressure release of a sneeze has led some people to speculate that if we didn't close our eyes, they could pop right out of their sockets. For decades, countless people have tested the theory. Upon finding it almost impossible to keep their eyes open while sneezing, many have concluded that the theory must be true. If you try it yourself, the chances are that your eyes are still where they belong. That's because they are held securely by the muscles in the sockets. Furthermore, increased pressure released from sneezing actually builds up in the blood vessels, which may cause capillary ruptures, but is less likely to cause the eyeballs to pop out. Why did this myth start, anyway? Some say that it all began in 1882, when the New York Times reported an incident of a woman who burst one of her eyeballs during a sudden sneeze. Others point at the fact that different high-pressure experiences from sneezing, such as childbirth, can cause blood vessels in the eyes to pop. Still others say that closing our eyes when we sneeze is proof itself. Scientists, on the other hand, explain that we close our eyes for the same reason we sneeze, to prevent unwanted irritants from entering our bodies. Either way, as far as we know, there are no actual documented cases of anyone losing an eyeball because of a sneeze. So, don't lose any sleep over it.
So the funny thing is like in medieval period, people thought, in Europe, they thought that if you sneezed, your soul left your body for a second. And the reason why we said bless you is to prevent any demons from taking over while your soul was temporarily discommoded. But here's the thing. Now we've gone from worrying about our souls leaving our body to our eyes leaving our body. We're still worrying about something leaving our body.
Yeah. 好，那刚刚 Angela 老师是说呢，这个在中世纪的时候人们那时候相信打喷嚏的时候呢，灵魂会离开你的身体。所以英文里面有一种说法，别人打喷嚏的时候会说 bless you 那意思就是说保佑你在你灵魂离开身体的时候呢，那个恶魔不会侵入到你的身体里面去那可是现在呢，我们不担心灵魂离开身体，我们担心有人担心我的眼球会不会打喷嚏的时候喷出去所以也蛮有趣的。
I guess it's just the violent nature of sneezes leads one to worry about things.
Yeah, 大概就是因为打喷嚏的时候，那其实是蛮粗暴的一个身体的一种现象那个蛮暴力的所以大家都会担心说，哇，这么暴力的事情会不会有什么后果
So we're all familiar with the sensation. The sensation of what? We're going to find out after the long dash. When you see a long dash like that in a sentence, if there's just one, that means what happens after is explaining something that came before. If there's two, that means that long dash is either an explanation or an aside that anyways doesn't make sense grammatically inside the rest of the sentence, so it's been separated out with long dashes to allow this extra information to come in. So we're all familiar with the sensation. What sensation? Well, it usually starts with a little itch deep inside one of the nostrils. So we haven't yet completely said what the sensation is, but we've started to describe it.
好，所以呢，他说我们都很熟悉这种感觉 ，sensation 是一种感觉，通常是指身体受到刺激的时候的一种感觉，好像英文常常讲说 a burning sensation， 就是有那种灼热感，burning 就是 burning 或者是有的时候你会甚至那个皮肤会有刺痛感，a tingling sensation， 那个 tingle 是 T-I-N-G-L 加 I-N-G。那刚刚 Angela 老师有提到像我们这里看到这个很长的这条横线呢，这个其实在英文里面叫做 dash， 它是比较长的。那通常 dash 后面跟的就是一个解释，所以我把前面事情讲得更清楚。那有的时候你会看到一个比较短的一个线，那个叫 hyphen， 那个东西呢，通常就是把字连在一起的叫连字号。那有一个比较麻烦的是，其实本来这个 dash 你可以打2个连字号但是现在一般的电脑文书处理软体它就自动会把你改成一条长线所以这个大家可以注意一下。那接下来他说 it usually starts with 就一开始它是什么呢？是 a little itch 就是有一点点痒那在哪里痒呢？ deep inside 就是在什么什么的深处，在 one of the nostrils 在2个鼻孔期间的一个的深处，一开始会有一点痒的感觉。
Next comes the awareness that it's going to happen. So after this first tingling or tickling sensation, you realize, oh, I know what's about to happen.
好，那 next comes 这个其实是个倒装句它后面那个主词 the awareness that is going to happen 本来这是主词本来它这个句子说 the awareness that is going to happen comes next 但在这里呢，它把 next 先往前调让你产生一个这个顺序感先是有一点点痒，然后怎么样那把 next 往前调之后呢，它主词跟动词再来倒装所以变成 next comes 这接下来的是什么呢？是 the awareness that awareness 就是意识或者察觉，所以接下来你会察觉，你会意识到 it's going to happen 就是要发生了。
Then achoo! You sneeze.
Yeah, 不用解释了然后你就打喷嚏了。
Air erupts out of your nose and or mouth at an astonishing 100 miles per hour. That is astonishing. Blasting out whatever was causing the tickling. If you blast something, usually we associate the word blast with explosion, but you could also have a blast of air. Like imagine a super high gust of wind would blast a building and shake it like in a typhoon. So a blast is like a strong, strong force, usually of air, but could be a blast of water, could be a blast of anything. Actually, you could even have a blast of solids if it was like a set of continuous solids, like a blast of gunshot, for instance. So,
an explosion.
Yeah, an explosion. So blast is like a very forceful pressure of something. And so that's the air coming out of your mouth in this case.
好，然后呢 air 空气 erupts 就是爆发或者喷发那这个字的字根可以看一下，那个 rupt 呢就是 break 的意思那个 e 就是 out， 所以就是 break out 只不过是很厉害的喷出来爆出来所以空气会爆发出来喷发出来 out of your nose 可能从你的鼻子里面喷发出来 and mouth 或者 or mouth， 所以有的时候呢是鼻子，有的时候是从嘴巴喷出来，有的时候两个都有。那接下来 at an astonishing 100 miles per hour 那 at 后面接的是那个数字100所以用 at 这个介系词。那 astonishing 就是让你觉得很讶异的惊人的，那你可以把它想成 at an astonishing speed of 100 miles per hour， 那这样就很容易理解的，就是它的速度高达100英里时速差不多是160公里的时速。然后 blasting out 那个 blast 本来是爆炸或者爆破的意思，那在这里呢 blasting out 就是喷出或者爆出喷出什么东西来呢？ Whatever was causing the tinkling， 不管是什么东西让你痒的东西，它就把它喷出来那这个 whatever 在这里你可以带入 anything that， 所以它会 blasting out anything that was causing the tingling 不管是什么东西它造成了这个痒的感觉，那打喷嚏的时候就把它 blast out 把它喷出来。
The high-pressure release of a sneeze has led some people to speculate that if we didn't close our eyes, they could pop right out of their sockets. Well, here we have our hyphen, the high-pressure release. And the way I like to look at a hyphen is it connects things. It brings two things together. So it's not just pressure, it's high pressure, used as an adjective to modify release. Release is an escape or leaving, going away. This blast of a sneeze is so astonishing that some people speculate that if we didn't close our eyes, this blast, this power, might pop your eyes right out of their sockets. The eye, the eye fills a hole in the skull, and these holes we call sockets. They're not the only places in our bodies where we have sockets.
My concern is, why is it right out and not just out?
Right out, I think that's just an intensifier.
Yeah, so the right is an intensifier there. They pop them right out of their sockets.
Yeah, you don't need that, but it adds power to what you're saying.
好，所以这个 pop right out of their sockets 就是眼窝。好，那这个 right 在这里是强调加强语气。好，所以就这样喷出来，马上就喷出来了啊，那个加强那种临场感。好，所以它只是一个加强语气的字。然后我们看到这个句子前面说 the high pressure 就是当形容词来用，中间一个 hyphen， 高压的 release 就是释放 discharge 好 D-I-S-C-H-A-R-G-E 好，你也可以用这个字代替 of a sneeze 就是你打喷嚏的时候高压的释放出来的那空气呢，或者那种高压的释放has led some people to 导致某些人会怎么样 speculate 就是推断臆测，好，你没有证据，没有足够的这个证据来显示，但是你推断是这样子，好，所以很多人就开始推测说，如果这个地方是假设语气，我们如果不闭上眼睛的话呢 ，they 就是指 our eyes 有可能会 pop right out of their sockets.
For decades, countless people have tested the theory. So a decade is a group of 10 years, so decades means 20 or 30 years at least. And countless people, more than just one, many, many people have tested the theory. They want to know.
所以几十年来 for decades, countless people, 无数的人，他们都 tested the theory, 都测试了这个理论。
Now, these people who have tested the theory, upon finding it almost impossible to keep their eyes open while sneezing, many people who have studied this, scientists or doctors, many have concluded that the theory must be true. They couldn't find any exception to the rule.
好，所以呢 upon 在这里就是 on the occasion of 好，或者 at the time of。所以当他们 finding it， 当他们发现到说finding 要加 ing， 因为是 upon 在前面，他们发现 it almost impossible， 就这件事情几乎是不可能的。什么事情呢？ it 就是指后面这个不定词片语 to keep their eyes open while sneezing， 所以他们发现打喷嚏的时候保持眼睛睁开 keep their eyes open， 这几乎是不可能的。因为这样，当他们发现这一点之后 many have concluded that， 各位可以学起来，很多人就下了这个结论说The theory must be true. 这个说法一定是真的。
If you try it yourself, the chances are that your eyes are still where they belong. So if you try to sneeze with your eyes open, it's nearly 100% chance. We're not going to guarantee it, but we're going to say nearly 100% chance that your eyes will still be there.
Yeah, 如果 if you try it yourself, 就是你如果自己试试看的话，英文里面自己试试看，英文就是 try it yourself。The chances are that 这个 the 有的时候会省略掉但是 the chances are that 意思就是 it is likely that 应该是这样了可能怎么样呢？你的眼睛 are still 仍然在 where they belong 在他们所属的地方，也就是说你的眼睛该在哪里就会在哪里。
That's because the eyes are in their sockets still. That is because they are held securely, tightly, firmly, strongly by the muscles in the sockets. Our eye has muscles behind it which attach to the bone of the socket and keeps our eyeballs in our eye sockets.
Yeah, that 就是指眼睛还会在原来的地方，该在哪里就在哪里That's because 那是因为 they 就是指眼睛 are held 被抓住 securely 就是很稳稳的抓住，就是不会掉的啦，很安全稳稳的抓住 by 被什么稳稳的抓住呢？被 the muscles in the sockets 被眼窝里面的肌肉稳稳的抓住。
And if you think about it, if the muscles don't hold it in, how is a little bit of skin going to hold it in?
所以一定是肌肉抓住了眼球，不然的话，这个薄薄的这个眼皮是挡不住那个眼球的。
Furthermore, increased pressure released from sneezing actually builds up in the blood vessels. So this pressure from your sneeze will actually go into your blood vessels, which may cause capillary ruptures. Capillaries are the little tiny blood vessels that you can't even see that's in your skin, and a rupture is a break. Like if your gas line ruptures, it means that gas is escaping. So if your capillaries rupture, it means blood is escaping into your tissues. So you can actually break your blood vessels, and this has happened, but it is less likely to cause the eyeballs to pop out.
好 ，Furthermore， 此外 ，increased pressure 就是增加的压力 ，released from sneezing 就是 that is released from sneezing。所以当你在打喷嚏的时候所增加的压力 ，actually 事实上是 builds up， 就是 to develop or increase by degrees， 或者是 accumulate 累积，好会增加。accumulate accumulate 会在你的血管里面这个压力会增加啊 which 那这样的现象就会有可能 may cause 造成 capillary 就是毛细管 ruptures 就是破裂。好，那 rupture 这个各位注意到 RUPT 好，我们刚刚在第二行看到 erupt 一样是 RUPT， 所以 RUPT 这个字根就是 break 的意思，所以 ruptures 也是破裂的意思。好，所以它会造成毛细管的破裂，但是呢 is less likely to 就比较不可能会造成眼睛 pop out 蹦出去或者飞出去。
Okay, our final paragraph. Why did this myth start anyway?We could also say, where did this myth that a sneeze could blow out your eyes if you didn't close your eyelids? Where did this start? Where did this come from anyway, this idea, this myth?
好 myth 就是迷思。好，那这个 anyway 可以翻成中文的到底。好，所以到底为什么会有这样的迷思呢？
Some say that it all began in 1882 when the New York Times reported an incident of a woman who burst one of her eyeballs during a sudden sneeze. So apparently, it is possible. Her eyeball literally came out of her socket. Not completely. It wasn't dangling there like cartoons show, but it literally came out of its original place. So you can do that, apparently. So I guess...Close your eyes when you sneeze.
这个地方他讲 some say 有些人说 that it all began in 这一切都是在1882年开始的，就是从那个时候开始的。那1882年发生了什么事情呢？在1882年的时候呢，这个纽约时报它 reported 报道了一个事件 an incident。那这个事件怎么样？是 an incident of a woman， 是一位女士，她怎么样 burst one of her eyeballs。他居然真的是把他的一个眼球呢 burst 本来是这个蹦出来的意思，但在这里呢他并不是真的眼球整个掉出来而是类似像脱臼一样的眼球从他原来的位置呢被产生了位移。好，所以呢他真的就是 during 在一个 sudden 突然的一个打喷嚏的时候呢他的眼球真的差不多类似像被喷出来的那种感觉，所以他才说所以打喷嚏的时候眼睛还是闭上比较好。
Okay, that sentence began with some say, some people say. In the next sentence, we have others point at the fact that. Other people. There are other people who are interested in this idea or myth. They point at the fact that different high-pressure experiences from sneezing, not including sneezing, such as childbirth, can cause blood vessels in the eyes to pop. So it's not only sneezing that might do this, but certainly having a child with all the pressure inside the body, that can cause blood vessels or capillaries to break.
好，然后呢，这里讲到 others point at the fact that 这个跟那个 some say that 是相对的，所以有人这么说1882年开始的，那其他人呢，他们就指着这个事实说 different 不同的 high pressure experiences。高压的这种体验呢 from sneezing 这个 from 是跟 different 来的，就是跟这个打喷嚏不同的这种不同的高压的体验呢，例如什么呢？分娩的时候，那这个东西呢都可以造成 blood vessels in the eyes， 眼睛里面的血管 to pop， 让那个里面的血管，眼睛里面的血管让它爆掉，都有可能的。
Still others, so we're now on a third group of people, say that closing our eyes when we sneeze is proof itself. Why would our eyes close unless we needed to stop them?
好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说still others 就是还有一些其他的人说，我们的眼睛闭起来，打喷嚏眼睛闭起来，目的是 proof itself， 就本身就是证明啊。所以英文这种说法，各位学起来 ，something is proof itself， 这本身就是证明了。
Scientists, on the other hand, here's a fourth group of people, explain that we close our eyes for the same reason we sneeze. That is, to prevent unwanted irritants from entering our bodies.
Because you're certainly putting a lot of irritants out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, to irritate others.
Yeah, always carry a handkerchief, please.
Yeah.
Or do the sneeze into the crook of your elbow thing. That way you're not sneezing into your hands and people can shake your hand with confidence later.
Yeah. 好，所以呢，各位，我们看到这一段呢，一开始先讲 some say that， 这第一群人，好，然后呢 others point at the fact that， 这第二群人，然后呢 still others say that， 这第三群人，好，那第四群怎么办呢？他用 on the other hand， 好，所以各位可以学一下他这个安排的方法。所以呢，他说在另外一方面呢，科学家他们解释，好，我们眼睛会闭起来 ，we close our eyes for the same reason we sneeze。好，我们打喷嚏的时候会把眼睛闭起来啊，跟我们打喷嚏为的是同一个原因 for the same reason， 也就是说我们打喷嚏为了这个原因，我们眼睛会闭起来也是同一个原因。那是什么原因呢？是要 to prevent， 要避免 unwanted， 就是不要的 not wanted， the irritants 就是刺激物，好 from entering our bodies 就是避免我们不要的刺激物进入我们的身体，所以眼睛会闭起来。因为你打喷嚏的时候就是把那个不要的东西喷出来了，那你眼睛还张开又把它吸回去了，那不是很冤枉吗？好，所以我们刚刚有开玩笑，我们说好，这个打喷嚏的时候呢，一定要这个用手帕遮着，或者是真的不行的话，用你的手肘挡着，好，不要用手，因为有的时候你打完喷嚏用手遮一下，还去跟他握手，跟你握手的人心里会很怕啊。所以这个时候我们刚才开玩笑说，你打喷嚏的时候就是把这 irritants 把它喷出来嘛，那目的我刚刚开玩笑说就 irritate other people， 那就 irritate 就是 irritant 的动词 irritate。Either
way, as far as we know, like in terms of the current scientific literature, there are no actual documented cases. We don't have any indication of anyone losing an eyeball, like the eyeball popping out rather than exploding, because of a sneeze. So don't lose any sleep over it. You've got lots of other stuff to worry about. Don't worry about this.
好，这里这 either way 我们可以注意一下 ，either way 通常是两个选择的时候，不管哪一个都可以得到同样的结论。但是在这里我们其实有4种选择，所以这里呢口语上你用 either way 没问题，但是如果你要精确一点，你可以说 in any case。 好，不管怎么说 as far as we know， 就我们所知没有任何的 actual 真实的 documented 就是有记载的 cases 案例记载说有任何人因为打喷嚏把眼球喷掉了。好，所以呢最后这句也很可爱， don't lose any sleep over it， 就是别为了这件事情睡不着觉。好，那个 over 就是表示原因的。
Okay, we have a few questions here for you to review the lesson. The first is, according to the passage, why won't eyeballs pop out if eyes are kept open while we sneeze?
根据本文，为什么我们睁眼打喷嚏，眼球不会喷出去？
According to the article, the answer should be C. They are fixed firmly in the eye sockets.
答案是 C， 它们被牢固地固定在眼窝中。
And number 2, what can we infer from the passage? If you infer something, you guess it based on the information given. And the answer is C. If you sneeze with your eyes open, it is likely that your body will take in what you blast out. So we close them to avoid irritants.
好，我们可以从本文推论出什么呢？正确答案是 C。如果你睁眼打喷嚏，你的身体可能会吸入你喷出去的东西。
And number 3, what technique does the author adopt to answer the question, can your eyes pop out if you keep them open while sneezing?
作者在回答睁眼打喷嚏眼球会飞出去吗这个问题的时候，他采取了哪一个技巧呢？
And the answer is D, describing facts.
答案是 D， 他描述事实。
All right, that's it for today's lesson. Hope you learned something and enjoyed learning it. Until the next time.
Bye-bye.